Hi folks, I hope you're well. Welcome to Helen Roscoe Yoga on YouTube. In this short practice today, we're going to explore a couple of variations from Warrior II pose, Virabhadrasana II. And this is something that I'm teaching at the moment in my classes, so I thought you might find it useful to have a sense of what I'm doing, what I'm offering. And it won't take us very long. So if you only find yourself with maybe 10 or 15 minutes to practice in your day, or you have that little moment, perhaps you're working from home and you can get up, you want to find some mindful movement, this could be the practice for you. Okay, we're going to come up to stand, and just to begin with, you might find it useful to warm your body up. So, little sway from side to side. I almost always involve my feet in this movement when I'm doing it, so I kind of have my feet about shoulder distance apart. And as I shift my body weight from one side to the other, I lift the heel up on the side that I'm moving away from. And then as you can see, or hopefully, my arms are fairly loose, so I'm not trying to be rigid in my movement. I'm trying to encourage a little bit of letting go of tension. So my arms are fairly low at the moment, they're moving around that waistline area, and then they're going to come more to this midline thoracic region, so rib cage. And it might be nice to just look around the space, if that feels okay for your neck, just having a little peek over your shoulders, and then going a little bit further up as well, so a little tap over the tops of your shoulders if that's available to you, and just encouraging a little bit of fluidity. It's really important that we find ways to move that are freeing, that don't cause tension. So we want to try and undo any tension that perhaps we've built up in our day so far. Right, just let yourself shake that out for a moment, and then stepping one foot in front of you, and we'll just take a bit of a rolling up and down with the arms as you roll over your feet. So as I lower my arms down, my front leg moves towards straight and I roll onto the heel. So it's also a little bit of a challenge for your balance as well. So you might find it useful to fix your gaze somewhere ahead of you on a place that's not moving. And just kind of getting into those knee joints, ankle joints, from your pelvis up, along the spine to the shoulders, elbows, wrists and fingers. You can wriggle those fingers as well, okay? And then we'll swap that over. So step your other foot forwards and roll along the feet. So a little bit of coordination, forwards and backwards motion. Again, trying to reduce or let go of rigidity. And obviously, depending on your range of movement will determine how far your arms move up and down towards the ground. Okay, just a few more of those. So you might be able to hear from me that my breath is already a little bit shorter. Okay, so let's just shake that out and take a few moments to find your level ground. So your feet will come in about hip distance, your toes spread, and you want to have a sense that your heels are connecting as well. Someone once said to me, it's a little like you want your feet to grow an extra half a size longer in shoe size. So think about the broadening and the lengthening of your feet. You want to be able to snuggle your chin in a little towards your throat and your shoulders soften away from your ears. So as you snuggle through the feet, you simultaneously find length along your spine through these little adjustments. Chin gathering in, navel draws in a little, tailbone is rooting down. So let's just give ourselves a hug. Place your hands over your shoulders, maybe even rub the tops of your shoulders. And start to bring awareness to breath. Through this envelopment of the arms around the body, you might notice the way the arms lift as you breathe in and lower as you breathe out. You might notice the breath moving into the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage as you inhale, and then softening towards you as you exhale. Bring your hands a little lower so that they find the rib cage, and give yourself a hug around the mid-torso. And with each exhalation, it's as if you're just hugging yourself a little more closely. You might find the hands and the elbows kind of softening around you a little more. And then on the inhale, as the diaphragm expands, just allowing an opening across the middle of the torso. So we're just exploring some breathing spaces in preparation for coming into our Warrior II pose. And then a little lower, hands on your hips, and just becoming aware of the breath in this kind of cylindrical part of the torso. The front, sides and back of the body. Breath, making space as you inhale, creating space, and on the exhale, hollowing, drawing back in as if towards your centre or towards the earth. Okay, hopefully you feel a bit steadier and calmer in your breath. Let's take your feet wider. This doesn't need to be your widest stance. In fact, please don't let it be your widest stance. Be more considered. No tension in the inner thighs, no effort in the outer hips. A comfortable stance. Then turn your right toes towards the wall that you're facing on that side. And pivot on your back foot so that the heel moves away from you. So your toes point forwards on the right side, and on the left side the heel nudges back. Bring your hands over your tummy. Think about your navel being towards the long edge of your mat. And then as you breathe, I'd like you to lift the elbows up and away from yourself. So imagine somebody pulling on the elbows, like they're just lifting up and away from you. And then your hands come into place. And you find this lovely length from your fingertips to your fingertips, and space across your chest, across your navel. Maybe adjust your pelvis a little, find a central position for you, and then soften the elbows. And as you breathe out, bend your front knee a little, and perhaps turn the palms up and look along the front arm towards the space in front of you, and the shoulders soften. Each time you exhale, just sense that you're moving a little further into that shape as you anchor down through the heels. And each time you inhale, just sense that there is more of an opening across your torso, like a wide open space right in front of you. Take your time to come back when you're ready, your front leg, and then bring the arms back like you're bringing them through the reverse journey. Elbows are heavy, you come in and wrap your hands around your tummy. And then when you're ready, we're just going to explore that once again. So think about maybe where your pelvis is positioned. I find I often shift it towards the back leg, so I just want to bring it a little more central. Look along your front arm to the space to your side there, and then exhale into Virabhadrasana II. Once again, Warrior II. Maybe this back arm, if things are getting a bit tired in your arms, tuck the arm in behind you so there's less effort there. Now have a little play with your breath here, almost like a pendulum on the spine. On the exhale, tip towards the bent knee, and on the inhale, tip towards the back leg, and then raise your opposite arm up. So on the exhale, it's a little like you're moving towards a side angle. It doesn't need to be as far as that. It can be lower if you'd like it to be. On the inhale, you're just playing in the opposite direction. Feet still very grounded here. Not really changing much about the lower part of my body. My navel gathers in on the exhalations. Maybe that top arm is starting to come over a little more if you'd like that too. And likewise, when you reverse the journey and go back, maybe the front arm comes up a little higher. So if you'd like to explore that a few more rounds of breath, the exhale takes you over to one side, and then the inhale tips you back the opposite way. And then at a certain point, I'd like you to find your middle ground again in Warrior Two. Remember the softening of the shoulders, maybe the knee bend a little more deeply there. And then finally exhale, straighten the front leg. And then swim those arms back in towards you. Find the torso, give yourself a hug, and then pivot on the feet so that both feet face forwards. Okay, let's try the same on the opposite side. You take a few easy breaths here. And turn now your left toes towards the space to the side of you, pivoting on the back ball of your foot and taking the heels behind you. And joyfully lifting the elbows, so almost like they're weightless. Like you could just take those elbows up and away from your body, and you keep finding that space that you're expanding yourself into. And then there's a little softening, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. If it's okay for your neck, you can look along your front arm. And then exhale and bend your front knee. Just take a peek at the angle from which your knee is shifting towards. It's not going in, it's not going out. We want it to go pretty much directly over that ankle and your toes at the front there. And just take a few moments to settle into this new position on this side of your body. And with the exhalations, this sense of rooting down, maybe the navel draws back. And the inhalations, there is a sense of openness across the torso. And when you're ready to come back, straighten the front leg, retrace the journey of the arms, elbows lift up, they're heavy. Are they heavy? They're light. The hands are maybe a little bit heavier than the elbows. Okay, when you're ready, just take that little journey again in slow motion, lifting up and out like you're unfurling, like the leaf of a fern. You're coming out into the space and then snuggle, adjust. And on your exhalation, find your Warrior Two position. Then when you're ready, you can start to play. The exhale tips you over and the inhale takes you back. So like a little seesaw, up and down. And you're just taking those arms within a range that feels useful for you, that feels pleasant, that's not forced. So that's the same with the side stretch here. Side angle doesn't need to be deep. We want it to be joyful. I'm just trying to give you a little playful practice to help break up your day rather than anything too demanding, because you still want energy to do other things throughout the rest of your day. So explore the length in the side of the body. The side of the body is neglected. The spine is neglected. So just let yourself play through these motions a couple more times until you feel ready to find your way back into your Warrior Two pose. And we're just going to find ourselves somewhere in the middle of those two ranges of movement. And a few more breaths here. Soften the jaw and the lips. And when you're ready to come back, front leg straightens, arms swim their way back. Maybe even look at your hands moving through that space. They find you, they hug you, you pivot on the feet and then step your feet together. Release the arms as you breathe out. Bring your hands onto the front of your hips. And as you breathe out, hinge at your hips, come about halfway, into a forward fold. Find the length of your spine as you breathe in, and then exhale a little further if that feels safe for you to do so, flexing and rounding the body in on itself. Your hands might release. You might prefer to keep them on your lower back or place them onto a block on the floor in front of you. We'll just take a few moments to be in that oppositional space. So you're not open and expansive. The navel is now drawn in on yourself. And when you feel ready to come up, a nice deep bend in the knees, sinking down into your heels, and then rise up either with a flexed spine or more of a neutral spine. So whichever feels most supportive for you. And when you find yourself standing, take a sigh, have a little walk along your mat, just very mindfully up and down a few times. Notice how you feel in yourself. Notice the length of your body from the ground to the soles of your feet. And then whenever you're ready, just pausing, acknowledging your little break to explore this short, hopefully uplifting practice. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the chat. Okay, thanks so much.